Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub, and it is our gameplay session. So, we are going to play a game using the 3D board. I told you that yesterday, and we are back to leeches.org. Yesterday, we played on chess.com. That's also a good site to try. Try playing good chess, that is. And let me pull up the leeches window, and here I was playing this ultra bullet game, and let us see what we can do for today. So let us go into the lobby. Do we get a good game? 15 plus 15. Okay, but is there a good 30 plus 0 pairing that we can get? This one is 25 plus 10. That would be too long. This one is 25 plus 0, but it's only 1500. That's not what we want. 12 minutes. Let's go into quick pairing, and let's go for 30 plus 0. I'm okay with 15 plus 10 as well. Let's see what works today. I hope you all are fine at home, and we all really have done a great job conducting this online coaching. So let me congratulate all of you for being an example of great student, all of you. 30 plus 0 looks like there are no. Oh, we got a game, which is fantastic. We've got a game, and I'm happy that our opponent is a very high rated player, not very high, but higher than us. We are 1967 and our opponent is 2000 rated. He is from Turkey, and well, let's look at his experience. He has played 104 games of classical, 700 rapid, and 1200 blitz. So fairly experienced. Now here there are two lines. The modern line is to push the knight on f3. The typical main line is knight c3, gaining an initiative on the queen. Somehow I like playing knight f3 because I would love to push c4, and the idea of black is to castle long. So I might give this pawns a run. I'm okay with that. In fact, there are many games that I have played in this line. It's a 30 plus 0 game, so there is no increment, but we are allowed a complete half an hour of duration to think as much as we want. Okay, so he has also developed the knight. He has not developed the queen because yet we haven't attacked it. But I guess now we have to play either d4, is likely to push c5, or even better, we can just go for c4, and c4 will mean that we'll take away the square of the bishop, but I don't want to keep the pawn on c4 for long. So we have got d4 and c4 to choose. Well, let's go for d4. No problem so far. We have a pawn in the center. I always like that policy. Now here the pawn is attacked 2 times and defended 2 times, so I have nothing to worry here. And well, now I can go for c4. So if there is a check, I will go bishop e2. If he goes all the way back, I'm happy. Well, one difference between this line and the typical Scandinavian is that his pawn on c7 normally comes to c6, which has not happened in this case. So we are in check. Alright, Avdut is here. Welcome. Jai is the spectator for this game. Hello Radesh. Hello Pratik. Good evening. So we are in check here, and the better way to deal with this check, I feel, is just to block the check with the bishop and getting ready for castling. So let's see. He is ready for his typical long castling maneuver, but I think I'm going to get an initiative on the queen first. So this is what is important. I don't want to castle immediately and let him just castle and put pressure on d4 immediately. Although that's not a big threat. But I first want him to make a queen move. So my knight is out attacking the queen. Everything is well defended. And so there it is. Now the advantage I believe we will have in this game, guys, is that his queen is going to be far from king's protection. I like that. He's assuming that we are going to castle short, which looks like probably that's what we're going to do. However, it's too early. So how about playing something like the pawn push on d5? It's going to be very interesting, this game, I can tell you that. Or maybe even bishop f4 first, then drop it back to g3 if necessary. There is no immediate threat, by the way. He is going to long castle, that's it. If he does that, then for the long-term perspective, I suggest we could better have this bishop on e3. From the long-term perspective, I want to do that. So now if he castles long, I'm tempted to play d5. And when that happens, I will play the queen to a5, attacking the pawn. Got a lot of resources. Of course, I don't want to take the knight as long as the rook is attacking my queen. Hello, Lavanya. You are also here. Great to have you with us. Did you join late? Always be on time. Utilization of time is a very important factor. For 3 or 4 weeks now, you've been seeing this. Now look at what he did. That was a prophylactic move. He knew that I'm not going to take his knight because the rook is attacking the queen. So first he safeguarded this pawn on a7 because he knew that queen a4 was coming. I like that. This is called pure anticipation play. Fantastic. Absolutely. So I am still tempted to play this queen move anyway. The logic behind that is now he's going to move the knight. And once he does that, I'm going to play queen takes a7. Looks like a fair and square plan to me. Yes, Soumitra, you are late. Apology accepted. I don't understand the reason why people can be late for an online class. It's actually hilarious. Okay, so now the point is very clear. He says, if you want to take my knight, well, go ahead and do that. But if I do that, the bishop will take. So first, our duty should be to get rid of this particular bishop. Is it not? There is no immediate check that I see. And the knight has to move now. He cannot just keep the knight there because now my queen is not pinned anymore. There you go. And so now I have this wonderful queen takes a7. Let's calculate in depth. Then you have king c8, which is forced. This is actually brilliant. And after queen check, it's forced. I think king d7. Then I could take this pawn. Or maybe even come back and give a check. So he will definitely be suffering. So now it is time for us to give everything a proper thought. His knight on e5 is hanging. We must make a note of such things, guys. Knight on e5 is hanging. Okay, so queen takes a7. Um, of course, it looks like queen takes a7 is probably the best continuation here. It just seems that way. Taking with the bishop is not exactly a checkmate. So queen takes a7, king c8, queen a8 check, king d7 forced. Then we either can take this pawn or come back where we are right now and give another check. A lot of things, so I'm going to do just that. So king c8 is forced. It's just that this square had to be plugged and we don't have bishop g4 right now. Let's give this check anyway. Look at the piece development. This is what I always talk about. The piece development is just not there. So his allow me to kindly adjust the board. Okay, so I hope now you guys see everything very clearly. And now we will probably think about our strategy, whether we want to take the pawn or we want to go queen a4 with another check. Let's look at the possibilities. If we go queen a4 check, can you push the pawn? There is no immediate threat, but the knight just wants to take the bishop. So we have to be mindful of that. I will not just give my bishop for the knight like that. But of course, at the moment, the queen is hanging. The rook is attacking the queen. So probably if we don't want that, giving a check and getting out of the way is the best thing. The king cannot take shelter on e8 for this check. I'm happy at that. And then we have the opportunity to drop the bishop back on e2. So this knight looks silly. And now even c4 is protected with the knight was attacking because of queen a4 maneuver. So we have 21 minutes left. And our opponent definitely has a worse position. Right at the beginning, the third move, I made it very clear, guys, that I always like playing knight f3 for the Scandinavian. So let me drop this. If I drop this bishop back, he could take. So can I just long castle here? That could be a very nice idea. I would not worry about the pawn structure then after that. And the rook would be facing each other. Let's do that. I don't see an immediate check. If we long castle, there is this check, of course. Do I sacrifice? No, yeah. That's an annoying check, guys. That is a very, very annoying check. Okay, so why not just drop back and let him have a pawn? If he's so greedy for a pawn, let him have it. Yeah, if he is so crazy for this g2 pawn, he can, and I will then probably long castle, because then we have bishop and rook here as thought. So he does not have any other pawn. The rooks are now supporting each other, so I'm okay with this. So material is in the balance, but we have a concrete lead in development. This is how you probably should approach a game of chess. Look at the development here. His bishop on f8 and his rook on h8, not in the game. Something that you should consider. So we have a move, queen h3. Now we could go for moves such as c5 and c6. Yeah, I like it. The more I see that, the more I like it. c5 and c6. If he allows a c6, then queen a8 is mate. We have 19 minutes. Hello, Nachiket Patel is here. Okay, and the thing about my plan, I was telling you, is getting a pawn on c6 just to cover this d7 square, and then queen a8 is going to be made. And that's why I think we are clear winners here. We are going to win because of the lack of development. Always when you play a game of chess, focus on development. Get all your pieces into action. Simple logic. The more pieces you have in the game, the more chances of all those pieces joining the attack. We have a move and it's amazing. What a blunder. What an extraordinary blunder. Now you should tell me why our opponent resigned. Everybody in the chat, kindly tell me, why did our opponent resign after queen d7? Yep. That's it. Well, guys, Jay, if you are able to see it, how many points did we get, Jay? I believe we got 18 points now. So it was a fantastic game. Let us look at all the moves before we go to the tactics session. So here we go. The game open in with the Scandinavian opening. This is known as the Scandinavian, guys. And of course, when your opponent plays this, you should take. I always believe that. Now there are two moves here, either queen takes or there is knight f6 as well. Both are equally good, I should say, for black. Our opponent went for this quick pawn capture. And now, as I said, there are two lines, knight c6 immediately with initiative and tempo, and a modern line with knight f3. Logic is that if you play knight c3, the c4 can never be pushed. And normally when black plays the Scandinavian, he wants to actually castle long. Guys, understand what I'm trying to say here. That is why I like playing this move knight to f3. And then a pawn in the center. Notice after this you have to start calculating. The pawn is attacked 2 times and it is defended also 2 times. So no threat here. You have to think from that perspective as well. And now the c4 move. Well, this move is not possible if your knight actually is on the c3 square. That is my point, guys, if you are getting what I'm saying. Okay, so what happened after this is he gave a check and bishop e2. So the bishop got developed. We are ready for castling. We didn't castle immediately. I like this move actually. I actually like knight c3 a lot. Because knight c3 meant that he had to move the queen one more time. So notice how many times the queen moved. First to recapture the pawn, then to give the check, then again going back on g6. So 1, 1, 2 and 3 moves, and we in that while were able to bring pieces into the game. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces are out. So he long castled and we played d5. The plan was to play queen a4 after that when the knight moves. So he played king to ba. But anyway, after we play this, now he was in big trouble. Because after the knight moves, the a7 pawn is hanging. So this bishop e3 move was very nice. He took, and here we could not have immediately taken on c6 because then bishop would have taken on c6. That's a point to be noted. So I first recaptured on f3. Then after the knight moved, queen takes, king c8 was forced, queen a8 check, king d7 is forced. Now here we had the option of taking this pawn on b7. But the point was he wanted to take our bishop or maybe give this awkward check on d3. That's why I dropped this queen back to a4 for a check. And after he went back, then I dropped the bishop back on e2, covering the d3 and saving it. I think this was a very important move if you understand what I'm saying. A bishop coming back to e2 was a very nice move. I hope you've understood the point. A bishop had to come back. Then he took the pawn. Greedy, very greedy. He wanted a pawn. And he did not pay attention at his piece development. Look at that, the bishop on f8, the rook on h8, doing nothing. That's not how you play. And now after this move c5, the logic always was to play c5 and then to push c6, controlling this d7 square and going for the mate. But guess what? He himself helped us by playing queen d7 and he resigned because queen a8 was going to be checkmate. So I hope you've understood all the motives and intentions behind this. And let us go now to our favorite section, which is tactics. So please let your chat go on for a while till I set up the board for tactics. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to play one 5+3 game before going to the tactics, because this game was over pretty fast. Another thing, don't play fast. See, our opponent had more time than us, but who lost? Do you want me to play a 5+3 game? Let me know in the chat. Should we play one game 5+3? So people are voting for 5+3, I believe. 5+3. Okay, fine then. So let's play. Let's change the background music. Let's do that. Let me know if you like the background music. And we will play 5+3. So let me go back to leeches and let us search a good game 5+3. But by the way, in 5+3 I would not have that kind of time to interact with you guys. Thank you. So 5+3. And we have a game. So it's an English opening and I would like to respond with knight. If he plays this, I'm going to play the Nimzo. No, he has not done that. So let's just fianchetto to the bishop, the long-term strategy. And now we can play with this kind of a structure. E6 and maybe then D5. I don't know why he played this move. Okay, so there we go. Now we have this bishop. And we can castle. There's no pressure on the bishop to take. We will not exchange. So somehow we now are okay in this game. A lot of probable exchanges on c5. Mind you, 5 plus 3 is different. You will clearly see how we are dealing with 5 plus 3 and how we dealt with a 30-minute game. Look at the difference. So he has pushed the pawn. I don't know the logic. I'm going to push a6. Do I want the exchange here? I want the exchange here. And now probably push c4. Yes. I like the c4 pawn now. I like our c4 pawn. This bishop looks very odd, I must say. Let's get our knight. By the way, this is knight bd7 because both the knights could have come on d7. So knight bd7. This move is c4. The pawn was on c5. We played to c4. Now probably he wants to short castle. Probably, I'm saying. So wouldn't it be great if we could... Do we want this exchange? But then this pawn on c4 will be weak. We don't want that. To that effect, then, well, could this work? If knight e4, knight takes, pawn takes, his knight has to move first. That's an important thing. His knight has to move first. Can we push the pawn first? No, we can't. There are 3 attackers. So maybe bring the rook to an active file. You must have noticed this, guys, that even in a 5 plus 3 game, there is time to think. So what did he play last? I missed it. Okay, queen. He brought the queen. So aiming for the h7 square at the moment, I don't see that under any sort of pressure. I'm okay with that. He's not castled, by the way. So I'm going to play this rook in the file of the king. Bring the knight over. Relocation of the knight, guys. Relocation of the knight. Our opponent, this one doesn't mention the country. Last opponent was from Turkey. My intention is to play the knight to g6. This is a very locked position, I must say. This is an incredibly locked position. He wants the exchange. I will happily do that. Now, important to remember that look at this pawn structure. You don't want to mess up with that. So, in case knight takes, I'm going to take with the h pawn. Guys, point to be noted. If he exchanges my knight, I'm going to take with the h pawn. I don't think this is wise play by white here. Because he is just exposing this diagonal. I've said this so many times that is a very, very bad idea. So I'm going to now invite some exchanges. But what I really have in mind is this bishop check. That's why, wise guy. That is exactly why he did not take there. I like that. Intelligent stuff. Can we put more pressure? Can we go for this move? I don't want to disturb this pawn chain at all. It's wonderful. I just don't want to do that. He is threatening this. What a locked out position. Let's do this anyway. Let's see what he does. Our bishop is really cold at the moment. Thanks to our own pawn chain. This bishop is not doing much, guys. And we are down on time. So we want to take with this. As I said, we don't want to disturb this pawn chain. So we took with the h pawn. Point to be noted. That's why I took with the h pawn. Okay. Now I think it's a great idea to put this knight here. So the way I see we are going to do that is to get this bishop back and then go with the knight. It's an interesting clash and could go either way. I'm not sure. I'm definitely eyeing this square. If not, I'm eyeing h5, putting pressure on g3. And now this particular diagonal looks very dangerous. The moment I get rid of this pawn, lot of diagrams on the board, guys. Lot of arrows. Okay, so he probably has allowed us that, because if we play this, he's threatening to take, and I'm okay with that. Although the question is whether I want to take here first. If I take there first, there is queen h7 and king h8 and mate. Guys, I want you to understand such things. If I would have taken the bishop, there was this checkmate. Did you notice that, guys? There was checkmate. Point noted. So that's why our opponent is thinking. Meanwhile, let me explain how there was checkmate threat, guys. Oh, he has played. Let me not waste time. So he has saved his bishop. I think we should also save our bishop. Would have been wise if I would have gone h6, I wonder. I'm definitely taking there, right? I don't think that's a danger, because anyway I wanted to play this queen here attacking the pawn. I'm going to put the bishop on d8 instead. I like what I see here, and my rook has suddenly become active. I have a challenge from somebody, but I'm playing a game already. So he has saved the pawn. I don't worry about that. Question is, how do I want this taken? I could take with the rook, in fact. So he doesn't want the exchange. Surprising. Very, very surprising. I have pushed this pawn here just to take this. If he is not aware, and I don't think he will look into that. Otherwise, I can just exchange. We are down to 44 seconds, but this is plus 3. So you guys should understand how time works. It's plus 3. And now this is definitely bad because he thinks that it's some sort of a skewer, but I have f5. So now there is definitely something good for us here. Good things coming up. I'm going to exchange this side. I'm going to enter his territory this way. Wow, there are a lot of entry points now for us. Also, this looks immediately menacing. It's a check. It will be a fork. So he has understood that. Okay, but now what? So now I've attacked it twice. And do I get the exchange here? This is tough to calculate here. Oh, I've got 18 seconds, guys. Should I make that? No, I'm not going to do that. I was thinking about it. Decided otherwise. So he is also down to 37 seconds. I'm down to 15, guys. I'm pushing this. Now this is pure time pressure for both of us. Pure time pressure for both of us, guys. Now try to follow me as quickly as you can. I'm going to take here. And then I have, I believe, this move. Threatening check. Okay, so check is coming up. Now what? Okay, so now we can probably go this way. Where? What? 10? Oh, 10. Yeah, I'm going to take here, attack the rook. I'm going to take here. Okay, where I have a check. Ooh, I'm in check myself. Okay. Now I get the queen. I think he will resign here. That's it. Beautiful. Whoa. What a game. Amazing and awesome game. And I have no doubt that you all thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was awesome. This was just very good technique at the end. And look at the skewer I got at the end. This is beautiful. Always lined up. Good that I did not sacrifice my rook earlier. It was always an attack lined up. This was brilliant. This was really an adrenaline game. Jai, how many points did we get? I believe 6 points. Yes, now we are 1892 in rapid. Now are we ready to go to some tactics? As usual, let's do that. Keep your chat going. I will set up the leeches for tactics, guys. Okay, so this is the first one and it is white to play. Let me give you your options. Is it queen c3 check? Is it rook takes h6? Is it queen to e3? Or is it queen to d6? Well, I think I've covered the entire spectrum here. Okay, let me know. I'll be with you. So, a lot of blue arrows. Seniors. Time is up. So seniors are saying, Vihang is saying the blue arrow. Sanchit is saying blue arrow. Nijapkar is saying blue arrow. Rook takes h6 check. King g7. Well, king g8 is queen h7 mate, I believe. So king g7, queen h7, king f6. King f6, then what happens? Guys, queen h7 is checkmate. Yes, okay, because yeah, f6 is rook is covering it. Yes. Yes, Chinmay, brilliant. Absolutely. Blue arrow, guys. Those who are saying blue arrow, perfect. Blue arrow is right. Let me go ahead and show that on leeches. So this is our position. And I'm going to play the blue arrow. And queen h7 is checkmate. Absolutely brilliant. Next position, it's again white to play. Let me give you your arrows for white to play here. So is it bishop h7 check? Is it queen takes c5? Is it queen attacking or rather coming back to f2? Or is it queen d3? Okay, so you can start thinking here. Seniors, hold your thoughts. Okay, guys, you get another 35 seconds before I tell you the answer. Or before even seniors comment. Another 20 odd seconds. Time is up. So, seniors, what do you feel? Fantastic. I have been trying this for a long time now and saying this for a long time. This was a very good idea to actually, but Nachiket spoiled it. He just said it is what about Queen D8 check. That was the answer. So basically, none of these. I actually wanted to trap those students who just choose a color. The moment I give any those four colors, they are quick to say red, quick to say blue. I wanted to catch those guys. So the next time that happens, don't give the answer. Of course, none of this is the answer. It's made in two moves here. So it's okay. But I wanted the students to be alert, because the moment I give them the choices, they are ready with it. Green, they are ready with it. Red. So this was the one where I wanted to trap them, and seniors were alert. Wonderful, brilliant. So the answer is none of these. The answer is none of these. That was a bluff. The answer is mate in two and not shown by any of the arrows. I'm going to play now the correct answer on the Leech's board, which you guys said. Okay, I'm proud of all of you. It's none of this. It's simple mate in two with Queen D8 check with a sacrifice, and now rook will take this rook on D8 and checkmate because bishop has H7 covered. So none of this was the answer. Let's go to the next one. Now this one is actually black to play. So made the necessary changes here. It is black to play, and now your options. Is it this knight f3 check? Is it rook attacking or taking this pawn rather? Is it this knight coming to d3 move, the best one? Or is it this rook taking this free pawn? So you can now start your thought process. Hope Soumitra is happy. Okay, the time is up. What do the seniors say? Jay is saying green. Nachiket Patel is saying green. Everybody is going for green. Go green revolution. Okay, and let me come on cam. The go green guys. Perfect. That is it. And the term for that in chess is discovered attack. So we are getting the queen. So all of you have spotted it perfectly. I'm proud of all of you. Well done. So let me play that. It's knight f3 check. Yes, we are sacrificing the knight, but this will be a check. I'm probably winning the bishop. No, we will probably play the rook. Okay, we will do more of those. And now we have, this one is black to play, so I'll keep that. What are the arrows here? Well, is it going to be the bishop f2 check? Is it going to be knight takes b2? Is it going to be queen takes b2? Or is it going to be what else could I give you as an option? Oh yeah, how can I miss this? Okay, start thinking. The seniors better keep the answer ready this time. Another 20 odd seconds, then we will have the answers from the seniors as well. This one is good. We have one response for none of these so far. Time is up and our seniors are saying Vihang likes the golden arrow. He thinks that the knight and the rook both are hanging. So chrome arrow as usual, I got that word. And here we have a double voter, is it? No, we don't have a double voter. Okay. Bhargav thinks yellow. Should have typed the complete spelling. So it's a fork. Okay, so guys, those who are saying that it is yellow, absolutely. When the queen takes the pawn on b2, both the knight and the rook are hanging. So it's a fork, it's a double attack, whatever you want to call it. Let's go back to the leeches and play. So when I get to play this golden arrow, What happens is that I'm attacking the knight and the rook both. So now that he has saved the rook, we can take the knight and give a check. Now the next position is the last position. Now this one I'm going to change the title because it is white to play, and here are your options. It is white to play. So do we go ahead and take this pawn? Do we go ahead and give the check? Do we go ahead and sacrifice the rook? Or do we go ahead and play the king? You can start your thought process. All right, the seniors, what do you think? The golden arrow, yellow arrow, and chrome arrow. We got all. Okay, so it's a discovered check. So those who said the golden arrow are absolutely right. The golden arrow, it will be a check by the pawn maneuver, and we will be able to win the rook on the same rank. So let's go ahead and do that on leeches. What I mean is, the golden arrow, this will be a check, and after that we will be able to win this hanging rook on h5. So congratulations, let me play that. It's absolutely right. Okay, as usual, let me come on cam and say that it was a very nice session. We won the 30+0 game. That was a Scandinavian defense. I want you to remember the things we studied. Next, we again played a 5+3 game, and that was wonderful. I mean, towards the end, we both were down on time, but we were able to win it and win with a nice fork. The rook was forking the king and the queen, and that was nice. Later we did tactics, and for the first time in the tactics I used none of these, so that was a very nice thing. Vihang, if you are listening, after this we will meet on Friday now, is it not? And Friday is the tournament day, so please have the tournament created, spread awareness in the group. Friday the tournament should start at 6. So Vihang, if you are listening, please comment in the chat. Vihang Gone. So you are the one to make that tournament. Keep a neat password. Last time it was chess space. We don't want a chess space. Keep the password. Don't hit the space after that. Keep it very simple. It should be 5+3. I'm okay with that. And let us know on WhatsApp. Okay. So fantastic. We probably will stop for now. Stay home. Take care. See you on Friday. And that will be for tournament at 6 o'clock IST, Indian Standard Time.